Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, if you ever needed some positivity, I have the queen of it. We have Evelor Savior. She is a writer. She is an entrepreneur. She is a musician. You can catch her on Instagram, being an influencer, YouTube, all these different things. In a time where things are just crazy, we need this type of positivity. Welcome to the show.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. Wow, what a blessing. Thank you so much. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Let me give just even a little more background to the people. You are originally from Haiti. I think the spill that everyone says, wait, she's so positive, but your bio talks about being an orphan. You talk about going through mental and physical abuse by people who are supposed to be taking care of you. And I think a lot right now, Americans born here always had electricity, always had water. The biggest problem some people are having are that their gyms are closed and that they can't upgrade their phone to whatever is new, and they're freaking out. How, with everything in your life, do you stay so positive in times like these and beyond?
Wow, thank you so much for that question. It all comes down to intuition. Intuition. And I'm not talking about just that gut feeling that everybody has, and it's like a gut feeling. When something's about to happen, maybe you feel it and things like that. I'm talking about beyond like the surface level intuition. And that's really what keeps me grounded, because I'm attuned with my own divine guidance. So I'm always aware of Evelor, this is what you need to do next. This is what you need to do second, move to the right, move to the left. You're gonna be okay. This is what's happening. Like, I'm always in the know of what's going, whether it's in my personal life or planetary wise. So therefore, like, I don't worry, because I know that God has it in control, and I'm in constant communication with the universe that way. Now, everybody can do this because we all have that divine connection with our creator, with the universe, our guardian angels, our ancestors, our loved one on the other side. So I think it's a matter of more people realizing who they truly are and how multidimensional we are. That way they won't worry as much. You know what I mean?
How does someone get there? Because some people are fully, I'm faith-based, whatever that faith may be. And then
Mm-hmm.
times like this come, and even the churches close down and say, you know what? Some churches close down because some are open, depending on where you are in the country.
Yeah.
But where does one start with that? Because someone could look at you, look at your Instagram, and say, oh, she has money. Of course. I mean, life is good. And of course, she can be in tune with herself. But it didn't start like that. And I'm sure you had a process to get here.
Wow. Actually, it's interesting that you say that, because people thought the same way when I used to be homeless in the street, because it was just something, because even when I was in those situations, I was always attuned. So it wasn't like oh, now I have money, I have time to go sit down and meditate or anything like that. It was always part of my lifestyle to stay attuned. So even through like certain situations in the past, I was always aware that this too shall pass, in a way that, okay, I was kind of creating certain situations to gain certain human skills, so I can either teach it later on or help somebody come out of it later on. So I was always going through things with that mindset that I am a master, and I'm just understanding how to communicate better with other people through, like through what people are going through in those times. Now I kind of slightly think differently, but in those times, that's where I was at. So I was always very spiritual and very in tune. So can somebody start? The easiest way is to meditate. Is to first have that notion, or that to just process, how do you sit down in silent and you're okay with that? Because I know it's so easy. We can be so fidgety, like we always want to be on our phone. We always want to, do something. But if we learn to start to connect with our inner self, take some moment to be in silent, then it's a good start. Now, the other thing that I implement in my practice that makes me deepen my spirituality faster than a lot of people, I would say, is because I use crystals. I don't know if you're familiar with like gemstones and minerals and crystals. They come from planet Earth, and they're very special. You know what I mean? They have their own, it's a technology. Scientifically, these crystals, based on just the type of atoms that they're made of and the way that the atoms are kind of stacked or formed into a crystal, it allows them to do different things. Like, for example, they can magnify energy, they can transfer energy, they can create energy, they can do a lot of things. They can store energy, store memories, and all that stuff. So that's why, our watches, they have crystals in them, right, to kind of regulate things. So when I started studying about the power of using crystals in my meditation practice or in my spiritual practice, in my lifestyle, then that's when really things started taking off, as far as being highly in tune with my life, with my life journey, my life purpose, everything. It's just studying, how the whole science of crystals and meditating with crystals, or carrying crystals as jewelry, but not just as jewelry for fashion, but intentionally, and what different types of crystals are good for. Good ones to start with are always going to be, I think, amethyst, rose quartz, clear quartz. Those are like the foundation crystals type for somebody to start with. Like, for example, amethyst, which is a purple stone, it's considered like the master healer stone. So it's kind of like, if you have that stone, you can do so much stuff, because not only you can use it to help get rid of headaches and migraines and things like that. You can also use it to increase your intuition and things like that when you meditate with it, or if you kind of put it near your bed, or you wear it. Then the rose quartz, which is colored light pink kind of, it's attuned to our heart energy. So it helps us to love ourselves more, love our lives more, love other people more. And it helps us to awaken to being able to forgive people for things that maybe we've experienced in the past, whether it's forgiving ourselves, forgiving other people, understanding what was going on. Then that crystal is attuned to that capability. So when we use that crystal and meditate with it or hold it or things like that, it's activating those abilities in our DNA. Versus, for example, aventurine, which is green, which is also another healing stone, where people can use it to heal different things in the body, or simply to just again, that stone is kind of aligned to the heart chakra as well, the color green, but it also helps for somebody who wants to be a healer. It kind of activates that ability in you as well. Like, if you wanted to learn how to become a healer and you have those innate abilities, it magnifies that. For example, calcite, I'll talk about carnelian. Carnelian is an orange stone, for example. And if somebody wants to have more self-esteem, you can also use it for self-confidence, to just be confident in who you are and what you can do in the world, whether it's at work or in your career, your job, whatever. That stone helps activate that innate, confident juices that we have in ourselves. But if it's dormant, it kind of zap it a little bit. So you can do that without crystals. All of these things we can all attain just by being in tune with our own self, and not using any external things, because we're complete in ourselves. But however, it can take a long time. You know what I mean? It's the same reason why we used to have those, remember those Nokia cell phones in the, before, that were just kind of like basic. Now we have smartphone that basically are computers, and we can do so much. So crystals is kind of like that. It's like the upgrade to help you move faster than just trying to do it only by yourself. You know what I mean?
And I want to let the audience know this was one of your businesses. I know you've done some things in the massage and in the healing. So you've actually put these things into practice. So it's not just something that you read, it's something you've actually seen and even helping other people, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So I was a full-time psychic healer, energy healer for 7 years from 2009 to 2015, 2016. And then from there, I took a break to transition into being an online marketer and grow businesses online and master how to do that, digital marketing. And then from there, I transitioned back into being an artist, because that's where I started, is being a singer, songwriter, performer. So now it's kind of like I'm at this stage of combining everything, the music, the digital marketing skills, and the energy healing and everything all at once.
And we're going to get into all of that, because one thing when checking out your music, and I mean, I've added you on everything, because I really like to do my research, and the more that I research, the more interesting you become, because I think sometimes, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but somebody may see you, they may just see the outer layer, which is, okay, that's the Black Barbie right there. So do you go through that maze of, I have to maybe prove myself, or I have to have my own identity, and this is how I do that?
No, I actually I don't struggle with like having to prove myself, because actually I'll take that. Well, no, not even, because I was gonna say maybe to myself, but like not even. I'm just me, and my perception of reality is so far out, like so left, and so like you know what I mean? Like I see things differently, and I don't feel like I need to like prove anything to anybody. Like if somebody resonate with my lifestyle or anything that I say or preach or whatever, then cool. If not, then it's okay too, because I don't take that personally, because I understand that this life offers different things to different people. Like this life is a Disney World. You know, when, like, for example, if I go to Disney World, you're not gonna find me on one of those crazy rides that people are screaming and it flips you upside down, twists you all around. Like, I'm not gonna be on there. You're not gonna find me on there. So when I go to like Disney World, I choose things that I'm comfortable with, where I can joyfully and enjoy without being scared and everything. But some people love the thrill of these risky things. So it's the same with life. You know what I mean? Like there's so many games and things we can use and play and do different things, and we just have to pick the ones that we like, you know?
Okay. And folks will hear this and they'll say, okay, Haitian, but if you look at your music, a lot of it, you seem to like to sing in Spanish. So we know that, Haiti and the DR say on the same island. What is, how many languages do you speak, and what is your preferred language?
Oh, okay. I don't know. Sorry, I was trying to put my phone somewhere. My preferred language. I think my preferred language by now is English, because that's all I speak mostly. After that, then it's Spanish. A lot of my friends and business partners are Spanish, so I have to speak to them in Spanish, and I grew up speaking Spanish. So, and then I have the Creole, obviously, because I'm Haitian. I'm mixed. I was mixed. So I did my DNA test. I know. I'm not so excited about that. And turns out I'm actually more Nigerian. I'm Nigerian, Spanish from Spain, British, and I have some traces of Haitian and Dominican. So I really actually have less than 0.5% of Haitian in me. Wow. And I'm mostly Nigerian. Yeah, I'm mostly Nigerian and other things. Which was interesting. I was like, okay, well, that means I have to go to Nigeria, and then I've never been to Spain, and there's like so many things that I have to like discover about like my ancestry in this lifetime, you know. So that's like what the mix is is going about, you know, like all these cultures. And then one more thing too, the fact that I'm an orphan, and I've had more than 8 different foster parents and families. So I've had like all kinds of cultures that groomed me. So it's kind of like I really don't have one identity. You know what I mean? Because I've had like a Guyanese mom, I've had a Mexican mom, I've had a white mom, I've had a Haitian mom, I've had a Jamaican mom, I've had what else? I'm trying to think. Yeah, like Mexican, white, like different nationalities that people that have taken care of me growing up. So it's kind of like, you know, all of this stuff is like all mixed in there.
And you still, I mean, growing up in Boston, right? That's you still, you know, learn Spanish. You can keep your Creole, which I know Haitians who they're like, I can't speak Creole anymore because, you know, I knew one that she's like, my foster parents would not allow my brother and I to speak Creole. So I can't speak Creole, and I feel, but you know what? I love that you did your DNA, because many folks, even Africans, I think, should do their DNA, because people are shocked sometimes. They'd be like, wait, I was born here, but my roots in the DNA says over here, because there was a lot of, you know, intermingling and loving going on. And I'll give the warning for people, your music is, you know, if you have your kids around, make sure, you know, you vet it before, because even on your Instagram, you talk about grown topics, which is fine to talk about grown topics. I actually want to introduce you to some people who are in that space, because you as an influencer, the positivity, like when you have that it factor, you know, you have that it factor. And the beautiful thing about what you say all through your social media is, I don't care how many people are watching. Because on some platforms, you could have, you know, 1 million people watching, or 82,000, I think it was. And on some platforms, it may not be that, but your tribe is going to find you wherever they need to find you. And that's the thing, that you're not just doing things for likes or views. How do you manage that? Because a lot of folks would dang near sell their soul right now for views.
Yeah, it comes back to just knowing that this whole life thing, we are the creators of it. It's not like we don't have to chase anything or see like, oh, that person have this, I want to have that, and how do you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to be inspired into one things. We're always gonna grow and evolve, but when you're in control of you understand your life journey, then you just cruise, you just enjoy the process, and you're not caught up in like human metrics, because all of this stuff is just human metrics. When you think, like, for example, I always, you know, put things next to like a star in the sky, you know, kind of thing. Like when I think about that, you know, we're stars, we're light beings, we're part of the universe. Like when we look up the stars and we look up the different galaxies and different planets, like that's our legacy. Like that's who we are. We're part of that greatness. So when you think that, like those galaxies and planets and nebulas and all of that stuff, and you put it next to like a app on a phone, then it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, why would I be stressing about that? Like, this is how grand I am. Like, this is just something that we use to play, to communicate, to share a message, but it's not who we are. So we don't have to like cling into that kind of identity, because our true identity is children of God who made everything. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Okay, you're definitely playing, and I get it. I totally get it. I saw, and I, you know, I love what you're in your own world, and I find myself being in my own world as well. And I agree with what you're saying. I mean, the story has already been written. So what's going to happen is it's already going to happen. We're just kind of the, I don't want to say the puppets, but you know, we're it's a movie to me. All of this is a movie, and we're able to write it, direct it, produce it. With your music, where are you with your music? I had not seen a music video yet or a tour set up. So 2020 or 2021, given everything that's going on right now and being shut down, who knows where that goes? Where are you taking your music? What's the plan?
Yes. So I'm in the studio a lot recently. I'm working on new tracks. I have actually like 3 new tracks in the pipeline that just gotta be finished. You know how it is, like you have to have mixing and mastering, and then 2 of them has to be the record. I have to finish recording them. So I'm working on different new music, you know, soon. However, I have a lot of like other music that I've done in the past that I haven't released to the public, but all my super fans have access to them. So I actually have a lot of music, and I actually have like a true fan inner circle type of channel, where it's a subscription channel where me and my super fans, I let them hear some of my older music, and you know, where I express my art and different things that's exclusive to them that I don't share to the public and things like that. So, you know, if somebody really want to enjoy more of my music, they can always become part of that and have access to more music than what I have on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, and whatnot. But yeah, in the midst of that, I'm still, you know, producing new music. I'm unsigned. So, you know, it's a whole different ballgame when you're like doing it on your own and figuring things out. But I'm a lot better and advanced now than I used to be 10 years ago, or, you know, so it's a process. I'm enjoying it, and, you know.
Okay, and my real job is I'm a consultant, and the fun stuff for me is the YouTubers and the influence, and that I love that when you say you're super fans, you didn't wait for Patreon, which many of our clients are on Patreon or have the YouTube members. You said, let me just do it myself, and whoever wants to support, you can get that money, you know, minus however that money's processed. That thought process, where does that come from? Because that's pure entrepreneurship.
Oh yeah. So and it's amazing because I had to become, well, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 19, where I first, you know, registered my own business, which was a dance company. And I used to tour backup dancing for other artists on, you know, on shows and festivals and things like that. So since I was 19, I had that entrepreneurship in me. So, you know, learning about how to build a business and how to do things like that. And then back in like 2015, when I transitioned into being a digital marketer, then I went to school and I studied with other experts who were, you know, making millions just through doing Facebook ads and things like that. So I started, you know, I invested in myself to learn this skill, you know, because I mean, honestly, it's like, it's either you're going to work for somebody else or you're going to build your own empire. And if you want to build your own empire, you have to understand, how do you market online? How do you do paid advertising like Instagram ads and Facebook ads and YouTube ads and all that stuff? How do you actually build a business infrastructure and all that funnels, all kinds of stuff, sales, you know? So I took about, you know, 2-3 solid years to learn all these things. And it's a journey because there's a lot more to learn, you know, but through that, I made thousands of dollars, you know, from my social media, from paid advertising and understanding all this concept. And now I'm starting to like teach these things to other artists, you know, because I'm starting to realize, oh my God, like I literally took myself from a starving artist to where I'm generating my own income. I'm making money online. I'm building a brand. I have a fan base. I have all these business streams set up. And it dawned on me like, oh my God, like there's a lot of artists that have no idea what a funnel is. They have no idea what's you know, like assets, like things like that. email lists and opt-in. Like they'll be like, what is that? You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, like I have to, shift gear a little bit in that world to teach other unsigned artists like how to make it like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's amazing the things that people don't know, given that these $1,000 plus phones are full of information, and you can, which is changing the way school is, which is changing the way we just about 4 or 5 months ago brought 30 people to Kenya, most of them Black Americans. And it was their first time to Africa because they said we never had anyone to go with. And it was all because of the internet and using one of our clients, his fans. And
Wow.
with that, and now we have 3 more tours. Again, due to countries blocking off, Americans now are, no, don't come here. If you're from the West, pretty much, and you're trying to go to Africa, you need a special connection because we're not welcomed at this moment to most places. But it's because of this thing called the internet, where 20 years ago, even folks would be like, Africa, what? I'm not going to Africa. And, it's just opened up. And with your Nigerian roots, when is your trip to Nigeria, Lagos, Abuja? When is it planned?
Well, now hopefully you help me plan it, because like I don't know anybody right now in Nigeria,
You
and I
don't.
don't have any.
You don't. Hey, Masa. Okay, hold on. So you were talking to Mr. Nigerian movies. No one has more collection than I do that does not sell movies. I have over 300 in my closet alone. I have influencers who go like every other month, one of them, and he actually became a citizen. We'll talk because, if you don't know anyone, you're going to know somebody very soon, if not a couple people that you can trust. You and I are going to be neighbors, so that we're really not going to have those issues, because by June, I'll be in Florida as a neighbor in South Florida, and I cannot wait to get out of the cold of Seattle.
Nice. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome to beautiful beach, and I actually I've been blessed to live by the ocean, so I'm actually looking at the ocean, and it's nice. It's nice to live here.
Yeah, that's one of my, the city in South Florida, haven't picked, but that's one of my things. I have to be by the water because my abs need that after dealing with all this rain. So we're definitely, we'll connect on that part. Now you have the music. What about your public speaking? I'm going to push you on that a little bit because I haven't seen a lot of that yet. And you are like a ball of joy, and from schools to colleges to Rotary meetings, they need this. What's up? ¿Qué pasó?
¿Qué pasó? Estamos trabajando en eso. Well, okay. Interestingly, I bought the Speaker Secret. I don't know if you know that Kyle Dendy.
Yeah,
oh,
I know.
okay.
I bought that too. I bought that too and reached out to Kyle. But yeah, talk more about the young man.
Yeah. So I literally bought it and just went through like the first half and got excited. Okay, let me start my speaking engagement, career. And then the whole coronavirus thing happened, and airlines are, things are happening now. So I'm just working on the other things that I already had in place. And then as soon as we have the green light to be social again like that and travel and all these things, then that's definitely my next realm, because I want to do that. I love speaking. I used to do that a lot as an energy healer and life coach when I used to teach live meditation workshops, and I did travel throughout the US doing these workshops. But now I think it's a whole different ballgame because I've grown so much, I've evolved, and I have new things to offer to the world now.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful part. Now, when you talk about your your super friends. Is that on the famefactorlab.com, which I'll have all the links in the description box by the time this goes out. But is that on that website? Because you have
No,
various things going on.
I know. It's on fans, FANS, dot true fans, and then that one is fans with a Z.com, and then / my name, Evelor Savior. I can text it to you and then you can put it there. Or it's in the link in my bio on my Instagram, Evelor Savior. They can click on that. You know, I'm very approachable. They can always DM me if they want to be a part of that. Or if they want to learn more about the online academy that I'm doing for unsigned artists and things like that. You know, I have an Instagram course as well, like different things. And a free app, a mental happiness app that people can use.
Talk about the mental happiness app. And I'm telling you, the same way you bought Kyle's stuff and I bought Kyle's stuff around the same time, because I bought it recently, and the same time I've reached out to you, that just shows that your tribe will find you. This is not pre-planned anything, but I want to know more about this for something that I've been trying to solve a problem in Kenya, because more men are committing suicide in Kenya than ever. And there are apps, but I want to hear about your app so we can tie all this in my brain.
Yeah. So, wow, interesting. I didn't know that. So thanks for sharing that. And that is something that we do need to pay attention to and see how we can help. That app, it's an online app. You don't need to download it. They just need to go to mentalhappinessapp.com. And whether they have iPhone or Android, it will synchronize to their phone. Basically, in there, there's an entire course on how to meditate, whether you're a beginner or you're intermediate, or even expert. You'll learn things in there. There's trainings that I've done on how to clear your energy, how to open up and activate your chakras, your energy systems in your body. There's a training, there's the audio in that. I did a training on how to trust your own intuition, your own guidance, and activate that. It's all in there. There's a lot. There's a lot. I did, because I also have a book, a personal growth book, and I did a 5-video series that complement the book. So those 5 videos are in there, and it's all about how do you release old energies, how do you reprogram your subconscious mind to start attracting more of the things that you actually want in your life. Like all these exercising, and it's all based on the exercises, the practices and methods that I use to help myself come out of suicidal sadness that I was dealing with to where I am now today. So everything that I've done throughout my journey, it's all in my book, and it's also a lot of it is in the app. And the app is free. Anybody can go to mentalhappinessapp.com and watch the videos in there, read the books, go through the courses, all of that stuff.
And she's being modest when she talks about one book. If I'm not mistaken, she has 4 books out. So make sure you go on to Amazon and check out. You can just put in her name. You see all the books. I'm heavy into the book game. We actually have a publishing company because we like to kind of narrate certain things. And there's a benefit of having a publishing company if you put out more than 3 books. But right now, one of those benefits is libraries, which we just paid money for one of our people to pitch. And since all libraries are closed, I'm like, wow, I just lost some money, because all the libraries that our woman had contacted, they're like, we're about to close, or we're not taking anything new. But it was right before, this madness came. But she has 4 books out you can check out. You're talking about, video and what you have in your private fans. When will the documentary come out on your life?
Well, I don't want a documentary because there's too much to put in a documentary. I actually want a movie series
Mm-hmm.
about my life, kind of like a part one, part two, part three, like a whole trilogy. I don't know, you know. So it's always been my dream, and you know, if the universe will that to happen, it will definitely happen. I can always do, obviously, you know. I think honestly, just this podcast episode with you, I think it's like a documentary, just all the things that we're talking about my journey and everything, which I'm very grateful for. And I think you're so amazing at making people feel uncomfortable and asking like insightful questions and things like that. So that's a great resource, I think, that I'm going to have, that people can watch and get inspired from, and learn new things, and you know, discover about what you do and what I do. But definitely in the near future, I would love to produce a movie series about, you know, some of the things in my life. I'm dabbling into reality TVs as well. I've actually produced a reality TV show pilot already. I've been keeping quiet about it, but but I shot the pilot, and then it's an amazing concept. I've just been debating, um, you know, how I want to put it out, and how I can have people involved in it. I'm definitely not a all me person, you know, so I want to work with other people.
So I just left Miami. I think it was a couple months ago. I think it was for the NATPE. Are you familiar?
No, I'm
It's
not really.
the National Association Television Production Executives. You got to be there next year because it's always in Miami. They have them all over, but the big one is always in Miami. And it was right there at the what's the hotel, the Fontaine whatever thing in South Beach. I'm my mind is drawing a blank, but that's where all of TV like comes to talk about and pitch their ideas. I got to briefly talk with Byron Allen, and he was, you know, have a conversation because I just love what he's done. I'm like, you know, there's not another person who looks like us who's done it, but I met so many other good people because I'm always just looking for my tribe. And I found a lot of them, and it's just, yeah, I'm gonna send you some information because that's right in your backyard. And I like reality TV, but I love it when someone like yourself can control their narrative. And very few people have been able to do that. Most reality TV want you, the positive woman, to be the angry woman fighting with somebody, but that doesn't have to. I mean, there's been so many shows that show you don't have to have that bickering and that fighting, and you can just be normal, you know, be a normal, whatever normal is, person. So that is, I love it. Tell me more about this reality since you know, unveiling this. Give me just a little synopsis. What is it going to be about?
It's called Raw Influence, and it's designed to be the first reality TV show that actually teaches entrepreneurs how to build a personal brand on Instagram and Facebook and other social platforms. So it's not so much just, it's entertainment. So entertainment and education. And the way I have it set up now, it's sort of like following my journey as I coach different experts in different industries on how to build their brand. And let's say if one episode, the pilot was shot with a celebrity fashion stylist, but he's building his brand on Instagram. He's getting, he mostly styles, I believe, like politicians and things like that, but he wants more of a mainstream persona and brand. So then it was about me flying to New York because he's from New York. So then me flying to New York and coaching him. I brought him to a television station in Brooklyn and having him doing some press and doing some videos talking about, you know, his brand and how his fashion styling is different from other celebrity stylists and all of that stuff. So it's kind of like that journey of me coaching him through how he should network and how to speak a certain way, how to post certain things, and how to, yeah. So I have that, and I've been thinking, well, should I just pick one industry, or should I just pick different experts from different industries so that the public can see different, they'll have more examples to choose from. Like that's kind of like in that state that I'm in, why I haven't really picked a date to release it or shot more episodes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, why not? You can do it all. I don't think anyone can put you in a box, and you have that kind of free flowing spirit. And with that, I want to, the whole purpose of this show for me, I'm always thinking about the 14-year-old who's listening and saying, or the 44-year-old who's saying, I want to do something. How do I do it? And this is what your life is, very non-traditional, and it can give that guideline. And if they want to get more game, I mean, she says coaching, I say consultant. Either way, there's an invoice. There's something that you have to invest money-wise so you can learn what she's learned and to do it the way she's doing it. And you've even worked with, from, I believe, folks who do airplanes. Insurance Poppy was one. You've worked with business people who are insuring planes and yachts. Talk about what you do for those type of clients as well. Because again, they're going to see the Black Barbie, but I'm going to show you guys are dealing with a real genius.
I love that. I have to quote you on that. Yes, that. And I'm not just a Black Barbie. I'm a genius. I'll receive it. Thank you.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you. You're the second person who called me a genius today alone. So the universe is telling me something. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Now, in the midst of me laughing, tell me the question again, because
talk about the work you've done with Insurance Poppy.
Insurance Poppy. I got it. Okay. Yeah. I have an Instagram training that I do where I teach people how to grow their business through organic Instagram strategies. It's called Instagram for CEOs. So Insurance Poppy was one of my clients where I pretty much taught him how to do a DM strategy to reach out to his ideal clients, like how to post and use the right hashtags to get into these communities where his clients are hanging out, different Instagram story strategies. So, and a lot of them too that I did for them. So a lot of done for you services as well. I do have an agency where I manage other people's Instagram for them if they're too busy and they just want to focus on producing content for their business, and I manage their Instagram for them, where I, create the content from what they give me and I post it. I engage with their ideal clients. I do all the research with the right hashtags to use and rotate, because you can't use the same set of hashtags back to back. So you have to have multiple different sets of hashtags. So I do all of that. Post their IGTVs and sometimes on their stories as well, promote whatever services they have. So it's, he's one of my clients that I do those kind of things for. And I also, taught him how he can do some of these things himself as well. And he's seen great results. I mean, within like a month or a month and a half, he had already generated 6 figures on Instagram from my methods and things like that. So,
nice.
It's powerful.
it's powerful. And again, folks, it costs. I want to talk money ranges, and I don't like talking money and saying, oh, this, because the number one thing people come up to consultants, coaches, is the first thing they want to know how much it's going to cost. And that's not the first question you need to figure out. The first question is, what is the problem that you have, and why aren't you able to, solve it yourself? Because sometimes you can tell the person an answer. They say, oh yeah, I thought about that. They try to run and do it themselves. I say it's the power of Evelor, or it's the power of this person that because they're, you could cut your own hair, but most people go to a barber, most men. I could do this to my hair, but I really couldn't. So I have to go to my ladies. So what is the cost? So you don't have a whole bunch of people DMing you saying, hey, make me 6 figures on Instagram. What are the ranges? Because that will stop a lot of folks who don't believe in themselves. Even if you tell them $500, they'll say, oh, no. I'm not going to pay that. I'm not going to pay that. So let's cut off I call them distraction people right away with where should they be when they're looking for that type of service before they bother you?
Yeah, if they want me and my team to handle these kind of things for them, then they would have to have a budget from $1,200 a month and up. It depends on how big their brand is and how the magnitude of results they're looking for, or how fast they want to push to a lot of masses all at once. Because it depends. Are we doing just Instagram, or are we doing Instagram and Facebook ads? Are we doing, like different platforms? So it depends. But a minimum they would have to have a 1,200 to start. Because I also do publicity, like I feature my clients on ABC News websites and Fox News websites throughout the nation. So they're getting that instant authority status and celebrity status right off the bat within the first 2 weeks of working with me. So it's not just managing your Instagram. It's how do you build a global brand very fast. So.
And you guys are getting a deal with those prices. So anybody who gawks, I would tell you, get your money up. Don't go to the club. Well, you can't go to the club now probably, and you don't need, whatever that new clothing. Invest in your business.
Yeah. And if I understand also people are at different stages, because I was in certain stages before where I was like desperate to learn and grow, but logistically the money wasn't there for me to invest. It's not like or maybe I didn't know like what to do. Nowadays we know if somebody really wants to do something and they're a go-getter, they're fast action taker, they'll find a way to get the money. Which are the type of people I like to work with in the first place. But also I have other ways to help people. Like for example, I'm telling you that I'm starting this online academy, although it will be geared towards just unsigned artists and people in the art industry and things like that, entertainment industry, or people who want to be a public figure and use their voice, their message to build a business online. But I also have courses. Like I have a whole Instagram course it's on my website for only $97. So they can, that's very inexpensive. They can start with, and it teaches them basically. When they go to that page, they'll see the other testimonials and see kind of what the result they could expect for themselves if they take action. Because there's tons of videos from people who are getting amazing results from that course already on that page. So they can check that out. Or if they will have a question, they can always reach out to me on Instagram, on my website, things like that.
And I have to put the warning out there. She says you can always go out, contact her. But I say fee, because people will bombard you with, so much. Like I have, even if people call my phone number, some of my family members hate this, but it will send an automatic thing saying, hey, in a meeting, if you want to talk business, book a time. Because as a consultant, as a publicist, whatever name they give me, as a street sweeper, whatever name they give me, you got to, pull that in, and you only have so much time in a day to get things done when running businesses. With that, it's not all about business. And what I like to ask all guests is, what is your community give back that you're doing or that you want to do in the future?
Yeah, so I've been doing I've been giving back since 2013 consistently till now. Still doing it, where I've partnered with children.org and I sponsor children, where I pay for their education and their medical. I help pay for the medical bills and things like that. So they, I pay a fee every month for specific children. So I've had a Filipino daughter. I've had two different Filipino daughters, Mexican daughters, and right now I only have one daughter that I'm sponsoring, and she's in the US, which I'm really excited about that. She's in Alabama. I haven't met her yet, but why I love children that org so much is because it's not like, oh, you're paying every month for them to, take care of these kids, and you don't really know what they're doing, or you can't really see. And it's not like that. With children.org, they're practically kind of like your children. You can go and spend time with the kids. You can, just bring them gifts. You can see how they're taking care of the kids. And then when the kids turn 19 years old, you have the option, if you want to maybe send that kid to college, or if you want the kid to come and live with you, or it's pretty much like they're your kids. These, children, not all of them are orphans. Some of them are just, they do have parents, but they're in third world countries, and their parents cannot take care of them. So therefore, children that took that responsibility to have sponsors for these kids. So I've been doing that since 2013 and still continue to do that. So that's the main way I'm giving back right now.
Awesome. I don't want to give the folks a game overload. You and I are going to talk about some things, but I want to thank you for coming on the show. And I want everyone to share this, like this. This is uplifting. This is positivity that you need in times like this, like I have mentioned throughout this podcast. But thank you, Evelor, for coming on.
Thank you so much. Namaste. Woo-hoo!